Hello, Facebook. Once again. Once again.
Really like that.
Once again. Once again. Ah. Put your hands up. Hello, hello, hello. This is Chrissy Comments Conversation, and this is my first Facebook Live interview. My intro music is by DJ Aura, my 11-year-old daughter who loves to make and create music. I am so proud of her. So she is on retainer. I have to actually pay for my music, by the way. So
Good job.
welcome, welcome, welcome. I am not used to doing Facebook Lives. This is my second season with Chrissy Comments Conversation. If you want to catch any of my first season as a podcaster, you can go to anchor.fm and type in Chrissy Comments Conversation, and you will find a ton of my first season commentary and a few interviews. They were quite interesting if you missed out. But this season, I took a turn and decided that I was going to come back. At first, I wasn't. And, with everything that COVID was going on, I felt like, you know what? It's too much going on. I don't feel like it. But then I started seeing such a high ratings of people doing their own lives. And it just got my wheels turning. And then I posted and said I was coming back. And I got a lot of likes. And that made me just want to go ahead and just jump out there and see what was going on in this whole industry of technology now. So if you've heard me on Anchor, then you know that I always first say I want to give a salute to all of our first responders, all of the people that have been out here in the midst of everything that has gone on these past 12 months for COVID. Without them, a lot of us would not have made it. A lot of us would not have been able to say some of our goodbyes. We also want to remember those that we have lost throughout this year. With that being said, I want to go ahead and move along and welcome my very, very, very first guest, Chef Brandon Williams.
Whoa, whoa,
Hello.
whoa. I'm the
Yeah.
first. Oh,
Yes, yes, yes.
that's good.
Yes. I'm excited. I'm excited. Um, I've known Brandon now for about 2 years. It's been about 2 years.
Something like that, yeah, I think. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
He is a coworker of mine previously, and when the pandemic came along, kind of shut everything down, so couldn't see him anymore. But he kept things rocking and rolling at work, and was always a
Yeah.
great conversationalist, cool
Yeah.
guy. Just all around easy to get
I
along
try.
with. You look for those kind of people, yeah, in the workplace, right? So you try.
Right, yeah.
So I want to again thank you for coming on, being my first guest, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope to have many, many, many more guests. I hope to keep this going. And tell us a little bit about who you are.
Who am I? Okay. Well, like you said, I'm a chef at, well, now I'm with Libby's Bistro.
Libby's
Um,
Bistro. Okay.
yeah, that's in Rock Hill. And I'm originally from DC. I've been in Charlotte for a really long time, since the 90s. And I'm just somebody who loves my craft. I love food, and I love making food for people. It's pretty much it for me.
You love making food for me. Well, I am a person, if you follow me on any social media, I post things and I often call it food porn. I love good looking food
Right.
that is just so good that it is absolutely addictive. Now, I can't eat it all because if I do, then I probably wouldn't be able to fit in this camera. But
Well, I'm
I
sorry. Let me
love.
make sure real quick. I apologize. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. This it just cut off.
It don't,
Okay.
okay.
All right.
Yeah, I love great food. So I hope to have a few more guests on that are also into the same industry as you are, but you are one of the few that is a for real chef. So I wanted to highlight that.
Mm.
So what was the reason why you decided, like, how old were you when you was like, I want to make food, I want to make girls fall in love with me because I'm gonna feed them, because that's ultimately what happens with females.
Oh,
We look at
right.
guys and go, they can cook. Ooh.
Um, so I was actually for this industry, I was actually at a pretty I was at an older age. I was about 24 when I decided to go into culinary school. Um, I was telling you earlier I wanted to be in music, as far as not a rapper and be the cliche thing, but I wanted to do music as far as produce and DJ and then be in the radio industry. So I went to college for that. I went to Winston State for that, but just didn't work out.
Okay.
I realized I didn't have the love for it like that, and I was just kind of out there with things, and I've always been able to cook. I just never thought of doing it for a living,
Hmm.
and you know, having a conversation with some people when I was younger, and things that kind of just guided me to look in culinary school, and I went and spoke to a recruiter at the Art Institute of Charlotte, and next thing I know, it was kind of like a whirlwind. Next thing I know, I was enrolled, and then I was just starting, and
Started
at
making
the
food,
same
huh?
time, I also started a job at a restaurant as well, and I started on ground floor. Like I was one step up from a dishwasher. Actually,
Oh
some nights
wow.
I would wash dishes. Like
Okay.
my shift would be washing dishes some nights. So like I started like on the ground floor of this industry and just moved all the
Wow.
way up. Mhm.
Okay, so you weren't scared to like just start from the bottom, like now we here type thing. Like I'm gonna start down here and I'll work my way up. A
No,
lot of times we
because
get into jobs where we think that once we're in it, we're just gonna go right to the top. But you
yeah,
you you
yeah.
were like, okay, I'm gonna start from here and work up.
Well, it wasn't, to be honest, and I, if there are some other culinarians who are watching, to be honest, you don't move like that in the culinary world. The way you move,
Hmm.
I mean, some people do. Let me not say everybody do, but a lot of us don't move that way. We just move in a way of like, I want to cook. I want to cook,
Hmm.
and I want to do it well.
Okay.
And you move up with your passion and how dedicated you are, and that's how that so that's the mindset I went in with the mindset of, when I went to culinary school, like most people go to college and things for to with the end goal of saying, one day I'm going to be making this amount of money doing this, doing that. You kind of do that with the culinary industry as well, but not so much in the culinary world. You go into it saying, I want to learn how to do my craft as best as possible.
So when you mentioned, you go in with this mindset of wanting to make this and that, what is the baseline for some people that may be thinking about, going into this industry? Where are they going to start out at? Like, what is that,
That
that
baseline, they're going to start out at the bottom.
and that would be in,
Um,
is it, I know each state is different, but would you be in 20,000s, 30,000s, 40,000s,
yeah,
fresh out of school,
fresh out of
culinary?
school, unless fresh out of school, unless while you were in school you were interning at a restaurant and you were
Hmm.
moving up that way. If you come fresh out of school and you haven't really interned at a restaurant or at a catering company, anything like that, you're going to come out bottom, and you're going to be in the high 20s, low 30s.
Okay. Okay.
And
So
I'm
this is an
actually kind of being a little
industry really
generous.
that you have to have that passion. You can't
Oh
really
God,
go into it looking for that dollar. You
yeah.
have to
Oh
have that
God, yeah.
passion.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's a I'm glad you brought that up. I'm really glad you brought that up. That's a huge mistake that a lot of people go into the culinary industry thinking, I'm going to make all of this money. You will, and you can with the passion eventually, but
Okay.
you're not going to come out and fall into 50,000 and then move on like that. If you do, that's an anomaly. And
You
I'm
must be a good cook. Like you know somebody somewhere. It's
yeah,
all about who you know.
yeah, you're gonna be the grunt for a little bit too. I have
Okay.
some friends. I mean, like myself, myself and some of my other friends who are executive chefs and who run multiple restaurants now and things like that. Some of them in their, when they started out, they were, line cooks for 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, before starting to move up. I mean,
A
I
lot
was,
of people don't realize either being a chef, and this is because of now working in the industry where I see the behind the scenes, doing
mhm,
what I do. And they don't understand that you're not just creating food, you are running a crew, you are putting together payroll,
yeah,
making sure people have their benefits, going to meetings,
yeah,
unions, you're dealing with top level executive decisions,
mhm,
so it's not,
mhm.
you don't get to do what you really love to do, which is just create food.
Right, right.
And it
That's the
takes
easy part.
away from the craft a lot.
Right. The easy part is the creating the food.
Yeah.
That's the easy part. And it's not all glitz and glamour. You don't always, you see movies and stuff and people are always kind of, in this dream world of just, oh, I'm just gonna go in the restaurant today and I'm gonna make this and do that and
Right.
everybody's gonna
Everybody's
love
like,
it.
woo.
Yeah, it's not like that. Now, I don't want to sit here and crush it for people, but I mean, because I love it. There's nothing else I would ever. I love it. I love this, and
Well, telling us you love it, I want you to really, really, kind of get people to understand what items are you creating right now at this new restaurant in Rock Hill. I want people to start being able to, get out and come and taste your food. So,
mm,
what are some of the items that you are have on your menu right now?
some of them I'm really proud of. That I wasn't the I don't want to say I was the sole creator of the dish. That I made. I don't. Some people like to steal credit all the time. I don't steal credit. I will say my influences of certain items and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my favorite dishes on my menu that I made is I call it the PLT, like a BLT.
Aha.
This is this is a PLT, and it's a um, pork belly, frisee lettuce, and a fried green tomato, and it's
Oh.
going to have a chipotle mayo with tomato jam on it, and it's going to
Mm.
be on a ciabatta bun. I'm I don't know how to say it without sounding conceited, but it's probably one of the best sandwiches you'll ever have. Like
Oh wow.
it's an amazing sandwich. And my a feature item I'm going to have on there is a short rib dish. And it's going to be a short rib with mashed rutabaga and Brussels. But the short rib, the thing about the
Got a
short rib,
comment that said yes, please.
I'm sorry,
I got a comment
like,
that was saying
oh,
yes, yes.
yeah, I'm going to be jumping in and out. This Bluetooth is
That's
acting funny.
fine.
It's going in,
That's fine.
but
Hey, this is my first appearance back on live, like I said, and I want people to understand I am trying to be just as comfortable as I can. I am on a sofa. I got pillows. I got my glass of water. We want this as comfortable as possible. So if your earpiece falls out, you can pick it up. I
okay,
told the girls, Miss Kiki last night, I had some lashes on. If my lashes fall off, I pick them up, put them back on. We just keep it moving, okay? We're gonna
I don't think
have
I have any
fun and have
lashes
this
going on.
conversation. Now, these lashes tonight, people, these are not Miss Tweets, but we're just gonna steer away from you for just 1 second,
Okay, okay,
Brandon. But this is her lips. This is Tweets Lippies that I am. These are my sponsors. I'm gonna call them my sponsors. Okay. So Tweet Beats by Tweet. This is her lips. Okay, and I love them. This is a matte. Doesn't move. It's not oily. Not on my teeth. And it's full coverage. I love it. For my makeup for my eyes, I have Lady Glamour Girl. I love her shadow palette. You know, I always post people that are doing beautiful things that have their own businesses. Please continue to inbox me, send me items. I will try it out. I will talk about it. I will continue to push. That is one of the main things that I love to do. That is why I started these conversations and invite people on, like Brandon, because I want people to start going to places that are not always franchised. You know, here's a big thing: franchises, it's the same thing everywhere you go, you know, and it doesn't really push a person that's out here trying to make it for themselves. So I really try to push people that have their own businesses or new startup ventures, or a young black man that is in a industry that you don't see a lot of you in. So, you know, back on to you, Brandon. How is it being an African American man in this industry? I don't know a lot of them.
Yeah. It's how can I put it? It's interesting. It's interesting. It's not always bad. There's bad in it.
Mhm.
But it's not always bad, and it's for me, my experience with it. I experienced a little bit of both, almost evenly. I have one of my biggest supporters and my mentor and everything is a white person in the industry.
Okay.
Um, and unfortunately, I have experienced hate from my skin folk, you know, and it's funny. It goes back and forth sometimes,
Mm.
and what I say for black people in this industry, we all, I mean, I guess it's kind of like almost anything else. We have to work twice as
Harder.
harder,
Yes.
you know,
Yes. I
to
said
prove
that last
ourselves than
night. No
others
matter
have
what
to.
we do, we have to work harder at it.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, for myself, I've had to like really like bust my tail, you know, and it was, it was at times it was very discouraging to see to see me like work as hard as I would work, and I would see people who I know that I would either cook circles around, or my efficiency in the kitchen was worlds better than them. My organization, everything would be
And
way better
you
than
would get
them.
passed over for different
I would get
things.
passed over and over and over. I've been told before. I've answered, I've answered questions in interviews, you know, just, I guess to say wonderfully. And I've been told at times, like, well, I didn't feel the passion out of your answer. And it's like I've seen people who were hired over me for a particular position, and I'm like, well, their whole everything has zero passion. You didn't
Right,
get
right.
passion out of my
What
answer,
kind of answer do you want?
you know. And I knew it was because this is one particular situation. I knew it was because it was a color issue.
Hmm.
It was a color issue. It was that they just didn't trust that the black man would be able to run this business the way that they felt like the white man would be able to.
And
And
unfortunately,
I hate to say that.
that is where we are even now
Yeah,
in 2020, where we are still having to prove ourselves
yeah,
over and over again, regardless of how hard we work, how much education we have. It's always going to be a little bit of something that we have to prove ourselves for. Um, and like you said, there's going to be some on both sides. Sometimes you get it
mm,
from your own people, which is very discouraging and heartbreaking, and then sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get it from other people that are from other ethnic backgrounds, and that's
yeah,
even like, that wears you out mentally. It's like, dang, I can't catch a break,
yeah.
So I get it.
It's funny. Like I had when I just got this position at Libby's. What was so funny about it was that there was a black chef who when I told him I was getting a position, and he was actually somebody who was over me. Man, he threw all types of, well, you sure you want to do something like that? I mean, you want to do this? I mean, you're a family man, and blah blah blah. You want to do it? And I'm like, bro, like of all people, you
You should
should
be
be like,
like,
you should
good.
know. I
Yeah.
have I have plenty of I have plenty of white friends in this industry, like people who are really down for me, who are really on my side, and they were just pushing me and like, man, you could do this, man. Like, I'm happy for you. And like, go for it, man. Like, this is all, this is your time to shine. And then I'm like, I have the brother over here who's kind of like, I don't know, that's
Well,
hard,
I for
man.
one was like, congratulations. Where is it so I can come eat?
Yes, you were. Yeah, yeah. And it just kind of, it was kind of heartbreaking. It was like, man, like that kind of hurts a little bit. Like you were taking that position, But I don't know. This industry. It is interesting when it comes to being black in the culinary industry.
I'm sure. Do you find that it's hard to get us as black people to try healthier and better dishes of food? I know we're all used to a certain type of palate.
Hmm.
So in the industry that you're in, you learn how to make different vegetables, herbs, everything taste a certain way.
Hmm.
Do you find that it's harder to get um, people that come into your restaurant or people that just in your family to try new foods?
Um. Yeah, it is sometimes. Me personally, I've developed a certain way of getting people to try things. You can't. Well, first of all, you can never force it, and you can never just be like kind of make them feel bad for not wanting to try things. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like a lot of us, we're setting our ways with how what we like to eat. But it is ways that you can get people to try certain things, to try out new
You,
things like that.
you remember a couple months ago, I showed you a picture. I had gotten my daughter to try some mashed potato cauliflower.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Did you
So
make it with a catfish or something like that? You made it,
it
or you
was
made
it
it with the
was
salmon?
it was with the salmon. It was with
Yeah,
the salmon. Yeah. So that was a new thing, and she ate it, and she was like, "Well, this is so good. This mashed potatoes," and I'm like, "It's cauliflower." And she's like,
right,
"What? I ate cauliflower?" I'm like, "Yes,
right.
you did." So it was definitely a way of introducing something new and healthy for her. And I look for different ways to continue that in healthy habits because we have a bad in our community, we have a stigma on how we eat, and how
Yeah,
we eat also goes along with our health. And a
right,
lot of the things that ail us in our community is
right,
because of what we eat. So I'm trying to change that for the next generation so that we can
right.
live healthier lives. Right now I'm going through a transition of eating less meat. We still eat
Mhm.
chicken, but not as much.
Right, right, right.
So I'm trying to follow behind my uncle who has been doing it for over a year.
Yeah,
um, and I find new foods almost every day,
yeah.
every day. So it's great to hear that I can always ping you and go, so chef, I need to know, how do I
Right,
get these
right,
rutabagas to taste good.
right, right. I mean, what you do, the thing that you do is, I mean, because it's common sense, right? We all like just like food that tastes good, right?
Right.
So what you do is you kind of, I can say for me, what I do is I'm not always trying to throw techniques that I know from a professional side of things. I'm not always trying to throw that on people like, oh, you should try this because it's boom. I
Hmm.
don't I
Hmm.
don't I don't do that. What I do is, I mean, I'm just kind of like, well, what do you like? Or, you know, have you ever thought of trying this? Or, I'm always I'm always talking to people about, exactly what do they like, and you know why do they like something that this way? What textures do you not like? What, because some people don't like kind of mushy texture. So
Yeah.
they're not going to
Yeah,
go
that,
for this.
that is something strange. Textures will turn you off from a whole plate
Mm-hmm.
of food, and
Mm-hmm.
that's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't start eating asparagus until you guys made it,
Yeah.
and it was grilled. You guys were grilling it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I really don't recall ever growing up eating asparagus. And I tried it, and I fell in love with it. I started grilling it at home.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Things like
so
that. Yeah.
yeah, it was the technique that you use that
Mm-hmm.
made me appreciate it, because any other way I probably wouldn't have ate it. So
Yeah.
for me, it has to be grilled.
Right. And see that's what you tasted was what the passion that like we like myself and my employees, we would put into the food. Like we you put your passion into it. People always taste passion. We always
Yes, they
taste
do.
passion. You know, if somebody like I mean, even people who are professional cooks, if there's one dish that somebody can make, if they can only make one dish, they make that dish to the best of their ability, and you will taste the passion that even they put in their food. And so that's pretty much what it boils down to. Is like you always gotta put your passion into it, and people will taste it.
So let me ask this: did you use your food to get your wife? Did you put your passion into your food to get
I,
her
I,
attention?
I, she's thank goodness she's not watching right now. I think I did actually. Like yeah. I mean, she one of the things she always talks about is she always talks about first time I made omelets for her. I made like a whole breakfast. I mean like
Oh
omelet.
yeah, yeah. If you made them omelets the way you make them at work, I see. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
I see.
yeah. And she was like, she wasn't. I think she wasn't completely sold on me until I made the
Until you
omelet
made the
for
omelet.
her. Yeah,
See, I'm telling you, see, men, you guys need to go out here and learn how to prepare a meal for your lady. It shouldn't always be a woman preparing a meal for you. Like, learn it's small things. It don't have to be. You don't have to be a straight chef like Brandon, but go out here and learn how to boil an egg, something.
yeah, that's true.
Something.
That's true.
And I want to say to people that are watching and listening in, if you have any comments and questions or anything, drop them. I can see them. I can ask Brandon for you and get some response. I love comments because that's what we are. We are Chrissy Comments Conversation. So without viewers commenting, it can't be a total conversation. But yeah, Brandon, I remember dating a guy years ago
Hmm.
that he loved to cook, and he made me lamb
Yeah,
over rice. And let me tell you, I still remember I can still taste it
really.
to this day. And I dated that guy for 2 years after that.
That was a bold
Okay.
dish. That was a
Yes,
bold dish.
that was bold.
You can
For
mess up
two
lamb.
years, I was like, this man can cook lamb. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
sold.
that's good.
That was a good idea from him, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
I was shocked. So, I again tell anybody, try to learn something new. Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
difficult. Just I'm sure they have different pods and different YouTube channels. That's how I learn a lot of things. YouTube.
yeah,
Look it up, check it out, see if I can do it. A lot of times I see some of you people that post foods and I go, you know what, I want to make that. Let me see what I need. And it's simple ingredients. Go and get it
mm,
and make it. And it's always going to taste different. I had a dish a couple weeks ago on a business trip to Atlanta from the Cheesecake Factory. And let me tell you, it was kale salmon salad.
mm,
Amazing. Amazing. So you know what I did? I went and went to Aldi's, got me a bag of chopped kale salad mix, and got fresh salmon, grilled it the way I wanted it, and had the dressing and everything. And let me tell you, it was just as good. I had a couple friends over, and they said, this is actually
yeah,
better than Cheesecake Factory because I
yeah,
put that love, like you said, I put that
yeah.
extra me into the meal that I was creating, so it
Hmm.
had a different twist on it. But it's things like that. You go out here and you see foods that you like, learn about them, and just make them on your own. You
Yeah,
know.
and what we have today, what I wish we had Yeah, I wish we had when I first started this industry. I've been in this industry now for 17 years, and Netflix, like almost everybody has Netflix, and they have so many cooking shows, and
Really?
yeah, on Netflix that are like wonderful. My favorite one I have to say is on Netflix is called Chef Table. Um, it features one chef per episode, and it talks about how they come from, I guess you say, a place of what can I say, normalcy, I guess, as far as just everyday cooking, into that how they turned into a passion and they made a living out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a wonderful show, and they have plenty of shows like that on
Okay.
Netflix. My favorite thing that I love about the shows on Netflix, and there's only one on Food Network that I really like a lot, is Triple D.
Oh.
Is what Triple D and the other shows on Netflix do is they take the pretentiousness out of cooking, out
Okay.
of the culinary world.
Okay.
So a lot of people stand back from cooking because they're like, oh, I can never do that. Like, look how this guy does this, and
But you know
you
they're
know,
making it so easy now, where they're sending you the whole box with the oil, the seasoning. I mean, they might as
right,
well give you the
yeah,
pan and everything in the box.
yeah,
Anybody can make a meal nowadays.
right. But even if you don't want to spend that money on it, the way these shows do is they show everyday people and what people like just on a regular basis every day, and they show how that is the true essence of real culinary art.
Mm-hmm.
Culinary art, like what I see is, like, for me in culinary school, like the godfather of cooking, his name is Escoffier.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is like the tip top of pretentiousness you could imagine. Like,
Okay.
you know, we're talking about making proper, you have to make the proper mother sauces and all types of things
Mm.
that would push a lot of people away. But what I think a lot of people have forgotten is that what makes people, like, the masses, what makes people happy is just good food.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't have, like, the proper beurre blanc on this salmon dish, if I don't have, like, if I like to make hollandaise a different way than what's the real way to teach it, as long as it tastes good, it really shouldn't matter.
Okay.
If I can make food that's good for people, and the masses love it, then it really shouldn't matter how I make it. And that's what these shows kind of they put out there.
Okay.
You'll watch it. You watch some of these shows, you're like, oh my god, you're doing that. But it'll be a restaurant that's been open for 35 years, and they're doing
And
something
they
right.
doing it and it's making it work. Yeah,
Right.
right, right.
Yeah, that's what I like. You know, I love that so much, because cooking is about cooking for people. It's about cooking
Right.
for the people, about making the people happy.
So with that, now that we're in the pandemic,
Mhm.
what do you see has been the biggest problem for the industry right now with COVID? Like how do you steer around that? I know for me, I wanted to open a restaurant. I love cooking,
Mhm.
and when I saw this happen with COVID, I said to myself, I would never do it.
Mhm.
That it would have to be a carryout only, because I saw those surviving, and I saw great restaurants here in Charlotte that were not franchised out close their doors and never going to open again. So, what were some of the challenges to Libby's and Rock Hill? How are you guys maneuvering around the pandemic?
Well, what we plan on doing, is relying on third party vendors, which would be like your Grubhub, DoorDash, things like that. Um, I mean, what you have to do is you just have to you just have to be able to adjust for the times. I mean, I know that sounds, easy. I mean, that's easier said than done, but I mean, that is what you have to do. I mean, you.
Now here in South Carolina, they took the restrictions, took the mask or something. They did
Oh,
something
hello.
different. I'm here.
They're not mandated.
Okay.
So mask are not mandated. They do recommend it,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's not mandated. They recommend um, you know not opening full capacity, but again, it's not mandated.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I mean, in South Carolina, you see a lot of restaurants that are full,
Wow.
100% capacity, no mask and everything like that. We're not going in that direction.
Okay.
We're opening at 50% capacity.
Okay. Well, you
Um,
hear that,
yeah.
viewers? You can go to Rock Hill to Libby's, and it is safe. They are still using guidelines to make sure that you are safe to be able to get the good food that you want to eat. So you don't
Oh
have
yeah,
to be
definitely.
scared to go down there.
Yeah.
Another question I wanted to ask you before we go is, what are some of your goals that you're looking forward to as you move through this year and beyond?
Well, the first goal with Libby's is, I mean, just to make that as successful as possible. This is my first run at actually completely running a restaurant.
Hmm.
Not, not working up under someone. Like, as far as the kitchen, like, that's my domain, and I wanted to be as successful as possible. Um, after Libby's this year, the company that I work for, they want to move on to other ventures, other restaurants. So in this year, the other goal is to get our second restaurant up and going as soon as possible,
Okay.
and have that one be successful.
Okay.
And hopefully, looking further on, we'll be able to move into catering,
Okay.
possibly. I mean, just throwing things in the air. Maybe opening up a commissary kitchen where we could, either we could service other food trucks and things like that, other catering companies, as well as our own, and moving in that direction. We want to really, I know I live in Charlotte, but right now I'm on Team Rock Hill, and we really want to develop the Rock Hills food scene
Well,
uh,
if they
as much
would
as
go
possible.
ahead and just get the train to go ahead in and out of Rock Hill, like DC, Baltimore,
Right, right.
then or like New York, New Jersey. I mean, it
Yeah,
makes sense. It's right
yeah,
here. Just get it done already. You would
yeah,
have a
yeah,
lot more opportunity to North and South Carolina.
yeah. It's true. I mean, we're only 30 minutes away, but
I mean, it's
it's
been times that I've drove down that area and I'll go through a light and they'll say, "Welcome to South Carolina," and I'll go through another light, "Welcome back to North Carolina." So you
right.
might as well just get a train and just let people come in and out of it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got
I mean,
people
that would
working
be
here and
wonderful.
working there anyway.
Yeah,
Because we me and you both, we come from cities that share.
yeah,
I grew
yeah.
up a little bit in New York, grew up a little bit in Baltimore, but those neighboring cities, you constantly were going back and forth.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
yeah. You
something.
get on the mark. Yeah, you get on the
Yeah,
mark and be in Baltimore in no time, and
yeah.
coming back. Yeah, I mean, I visit many of my friends in Baltimore. Coming from DC, like a what $24 ticket.
You said a
You know,
$24 ticket. Huh?
a $24 ticket on the mark. Like
It's so
I'm
funny
serious.
because meeting Brandon, we realized that we knew a lot of people in the same circles, and it's funny because you'll be amazed how you'll move to another city and you'll meet people not knowing that they're connected to other people that you know.
That's true.
So I say that to say always be mindful of how you treat individuals because you don't know who you're going to need, who you're going to meet, who's going to, influence you to do something bigger and better. You don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
from that work relationship, now here he is on Facebook Live, experiment with me, because this is an experiment. And I put that on my podcast before. I am not tied to this. I am not paid to do this, but I am enjoying it and I'm learning. This is a learning experience from me, and I want to go and continue to have great conversations with great people. Um, I really, really thank you for allowing me to sit here and pick your brain and ask
This
questions.
is fun. This is real fun.
I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah, yeah,
Now I
yeah.
do have one little game for you since you're a
Okay.
chef. And since we're, doing Facebook Live, I don't have you here to just cook in front of me. So we're gonna act like this is like
Okay.
chopped, right?
Okay.
So I didn't warn you about this. I didn't warn
Uh-oh,
you.
here we go.
So I'm gonna just name a couple items, and you tell me what would you do with these items? What kind of dish
Oh
would you
man.
make? Oh yeah.
All right.
So okay, I'm not gonna make it difficult.
Okay.
Um, lamb.
Lamb. What would I do with lamb?
What would you do? I gotta get some side
Uh
dishes here. I gotta get some
oh,
side
okay,
dishes.
okay, okay.
Lamb. Um, let's see. Kale
Okay.
and a jasmine rice.
Okay, all right. Do I get to go
You get to
to like,
add whatever you want to add
all
to
right,
it.
so we can go to the refrigerator like they do in shop.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Lamb. I'm gonna lamb, jasmine rice, and kale. Well, that's easy. I'm just gonna go Mediterranean with that one.
Okay.
I'm going to yeah, I'm gonna go. No, you know what? Let's see, lamb, jasmine rice. I'm gonna go Mediterranean or yeah, I'm gonna go Mediterranean. I'm gonna go Moroccan. I'm gonna go Moroccan.
Mm.
All right. So I'll probably do the rice, the jasmine rice. I'll treat it like I would treat basmati rice, and
Mm.
I'm gonna spice that rice with. I'll probably do some star anise. I'm gonna make it like a kind of like a weird little pilaf. So I'm gonna do in my broth for my pilaf. I'm gonna do some star anise, cinnamon stick, um, a little bit of coriander, and let's see, man, right off the top of my head, probably a touch of turmeric
Mm.
and a little bit of allspice. I'm
Uh
sure
huh.
there's other
Uh
things
huh.
that I would be
I
able to
know
throw
those. I know those spices.
in. The lamb is gonna be seasoned. I'm probably gonna season that with similar seasonings.
Hmm.
Except I'll do. I don't want to make it too medicine-y with too much allspice all over the place with in the rice and with the lamb. So what I'll do is probably keep it simple. I'll probably go maybe let's say salt, pepper, garlic.
Hmm.
Trying to think of my Moroccan seasonings. Oof, I'm rusty on that. I haven't cooked some Moroccan in a while. Um, let's see, salt, pepper, garlic, maybe a little cumin.
Okay.
Um, that's not really traditional Moroccan, but I'll throw a little cumin on there. The kale, I'm gonna add to that kale, and I'm gonna have a nice little salad with that. I'm gonna throw some kale, some pea shoots, some bull's blood is baby beet leaves.
Okay. I'm glad you told me,
Yeah.
because I'm like, bull's blood. What the heck is
Yeah.
bull's blood?
Then we gotta keep them rocking, right? So then I'm gonna throw some little raisin in that salad, little golden raisin in that salad, little curry. I keep saying Moroccan. I'm like bouncing all off the place, but it'll still have a little bit of Moroccan flair with it. Got to do some a nice cheese with it. Probably a type of a nice feta or a nice goat with
Okay.
that salad.
Okay.
Um, Man, this is hard. Probably some dates. Probably some dates.
So
you
they
know, with the golden raisins. I'll toss that salad up with some basic olive oil. I
okay.
mean, you know, the Moroccans love some good
They
olive
love
oil.
oil. Yes, they love oil.
Basic olive oil and citrus flavor with that.
Okay.
So I would
I
have
mean,
that
it sounds
salad
like
with
a
the
good
ice
meal to
cream.
me.
Yeah.
Now I might have to call you later and write all these things down because I'm gonna try it. But I enjoyed you this evening. Are
Yeah,
there
this is
any
fun.
type of support, any type of platforms that you want people to look into supporting to continue on anything that you're interested in right now? I want to try to make sure people put everything they want out
Um,
there.
Not really in particular. I will say, which is very important, is support black chefs. I mean, just support us. I mean, we are out here and we are strong. We are strong. And you know, if you think about it, you know, I don't want to sound cliche, but just like the rest of this country we built it with cooking as well. I
Yeah,
mean, who was in those
you're right.
houses, in those slave houses, cooking up for the masters and everything? That was
You're
us.
right. You're right.
That was us. We've created many dishes. We've created many cooking techniques that we're not recognized for. And I mean, if not one of the strongest, we are the strongest in this country as far as on the culinary side of things.
Wow. You know what? I didn't
You
think
know,
about that. You know it, but you really, the way you said it, that's very, very true.
and I just say anytime you see a black chef who's either running a business or starting to run a business, support them. And don't I
Yeah.
don't want to hear the I don't want to hear the price thing because
Right. Right.
I've seen you go to some of these other restaurants and spend ridiculous amount of money on, for lack of better words, on crap food. So go spend some good money on some good food.
That's right.
You know,
That's right. I plan to have you back again, Brandon. We talked about that behind the scenes,
yeah,
after I completely go through and speak with more people that are in the industry. I want to have everybody on for a panel, to just talk about the food industry and, starting out and different things about it. We'll get
oh
more
yeah.
into it as the season goes on. But I am so grateful that you joined me this evening.
I'm grateful to be the first.
And and I will be back again soon. And share this on your page, please. I hope to get more followers. I will be building a Chrissy Comments Conversation Facebook page. That's going to be separate from my personal page so that I can continue on with this experiment. I'm going to ask my DJ to carry us out.
Oh yeah.
That's DJ Ara. That's right. That's my 11-year-old girl, and she makes music, and I allow her to express her art as much as possible. Mommy is now allowing her to play piano every Friday. I've bought
Good.
whole mixing stations. So she is my paid DJ. I'm waiting for her to start up. Um, I want to let people know that I am also going to start Wednesday, a Wednesday called Hump Day, like to get over it. So what I want my viewers to do is send me a subject matter that you want people to get over because it's Hump Day. And what I'll do is I'll come on and I'll talk about it and go, hey, it's Hump Day. This is what this viewer inboxed me that people need to get over that hump. So I want to start that this Wednesday. So please, please leave me inboxes, comments of this show and what you think. And please make sure that you patronize Brandon at the restaurant. Again, Brandon, can you please tell people where to find you?
That is Libby's Bistro in Rock Hill. We're in the Riverwalk community. That's 652 Herons Ferry Drive.
All right. Thank you for coming on Chrissy Comments Conversation. See you all next week. Like I
Hi,
said,
everybody.
Wednesday, Hump Day. Let's get over it.
Let's get over it.
That's right, y'all. My baby made that. Bye, Brandon.
Bye.